Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be discussing about the indigenous 4G stack that India has created, which makes India be present in just 5 countries who are actually able to do so. Now, the question in front of India after this is whether this 4G full stack of India, can it counters China's digital Silk Road or not? So in this lecture, we will first understand as to what is this 4G stack of India that has been indigenously created, what is China's digital Silk Road, can this 4G stack counter China's digital Silk Road or not? All this thing and much more is what we are going to discuss in this lecture. So let's get started with the news. So the news is about our Honorable Prime Minister highlighting the fact that BSNL's indigenously developed 4G stack is now ready, not just ready for the domestic use, but also ready for export. Yes, we are also looking to export this entire full stack to the other countries. The infrastructure, the physical infrastructure as well as the intellectual infrastructure, either in the physical form or as a part of providing services to these countries, is what we are looking at. This is what he has mentioned in his inaugural speech at the India Mobile Congress of 2025. Now, since India has been able to develop this 4G stack, India is now one of the only 5 countries to do so. The other countries, you should remember, China, South Korea, Sweden and Denmark. These were the only 4 countries. Now, India is also a part of it. Now, that means what? Does that mean that the other countries do not have 4G? No, of course they have. Then the only thing they don't have the indigenous capability to producing the entire physical as well as intellectual infrastructure indigenously within the country, that they are not able to do. So what they do is they might produce something on their own, but the other components, the other services, the other physical infrastructure, they would import from other countries, as a result of which they will create an assembled stack which has imported goods and services also involved. Only these 5 countries can do it completely indigenously. So let us understand what is the significance of this and what is China's digital Silk Road, and can this counter that Silk Road or not. Now, before we move ahead, an important announcement with respect to the new batches that are starting at Legacy IAS Academy from 16th and 25th of October, regular as well as weekend batch, wherein the batch size is only 40 students, in order to ensure that there is individual attention on each and every student. Once you enroll with us, there are a lot of advantages that you will have. Some of them are listed over here. The most important probably being the one-on-one mentorship, doubt solving, as well as the regular interaction with the educators. Now, in addition to that, you will of course get the prelims and mains test series, daily answer writing practice, and a 360-degree approach for current affairs, in which the entire week's current affairs are covered through the live classes. Now, you can download the app or log on to our website or call these numbers for enrolling with us. Now, let's continue with the news. So what is this India's 4G stack? We took the name of BSNL, but BSNL is not the only one involved. We have BSNL. Along with BSNL, the multinational corporation TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, C-Dot and the Tejas network, they all are together involved. They all together have constructed the 4G stack. Now, this is a full stack. Stack means everything, you stack one upon the other. So everything that is required for the functioning of the 4G network is being developed indigenously. Now, this, they say, has been inspired by the government's vision of digitally connected and self-reliant India. That means India should be completely digitally connected and should be self-reliant. We should not depend on others. So this vision gets fulfilled with the help of the 4G stack that has been created over here. Now, let us look at the key features of this 4G stack. Of course, it leads to self-reliance for India. That is there. Also, one very important thing about this 4G stack is that this 4G stack is actually 5G ready. 5G ready means if when tomorrow these 4G stacks and infrastructure needs to be replaced with 5G ones, because 5G will be way more prevalent in India also, then you don't have to dismantle the entire infrastructure and create a new one for 5G. Simply by changing small things, keeping the main physical infrastructure the same, you can convert it into 5G. That is the meaning of 5G ready, as a result of which there will be rapid scalability and export potential. Why export potential? All of it we are doing on our own, so we can export it to the other countries as well. It will enhance India's sovereignty, means independence with respect to the digital connections. Now, if you look at, there are certain differences between 4G and 5G. Generally speaking, 5G is actually faster than 4G. The latency is less than 1 millisecond, whereas in 4G it can be 10 millisecond. What is latency? Latency is basically the delay. So the delay in the 5G network is very, very small. If you look at the peak data rates, for 4G it's 1 Gbps, whereas for 5G it is 20 Gbps, so it is 20 times that of 4G. So 5G is quite strong. In the future we will have 5G installed more prevalently, and the same infrastructure can be and will be used for 5G as well. That is the meaning of being 5G ready. Now, what are the strategic significance? So it is in sync with India's Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. Now India is coming up with Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative in different sectors. Atmanirbhar means independent, means dependent on our own self. So we are self-dependent. We want to become independent with respect to certain things. For example, independence in pulses we want. In the same manner, independent in digital connectedness we want. So it is in sync with that. It promotes strategic autonomy. It gives us autonomy. It basically is in sync with the 9 pillars of digital India. These things you should mention in your examination as well. In your mains answer for prelims, you should remember what are these 9 digital pillars. Broadband highways, public internet, information for everyone, early harvest programs, universal access to phones, IT for job, e-Kranti. E-Kranti means the various digital services provided electronically, e-governance and electronic manufacturing, targeting net zero import. Net zero import means, it does not mean imports will be zero. It only means that however much we are importing, at least that much amount we should export also, so that there is no deficit in the trade with respect to the digital goods and services. I hope that's clear. Let's move ahead. Now let us understand China's digital Silk Road. So remember, China has Belt and Road Initiative. Now that Belt and Road Initiative is a physical infrastructure project. Now China wants to connect that digitally. So digitally connecting the physical infrastructure of the Belt and Road Initiative is nothing but the digital Silk Road of China, and that is driven by Chinese company Huawei ZTE, and it is backed by the state loans. The state is subsidizing it. The state is providing cheap loans, putting it a lot of money in order to help them lead to digital Silk Road. That is DSR. Now this digital Silk Road that is there, let's compare that with India's 4G stack. So India's 4G stack is democratic, open source and transparent, whereas China's DSR is completely state backed. Because remember, in India's there is BSNL, but at the same time TCS is also involved. So private public sector, it's a combination. This is completely state backed. In India, these are the companies that are related to India's 4G stack, whereas in China it is Huawei and ZTE plus the Chinese state is involved. Why we are saying it is state backed? Because it is the state that is funding the entire thing, giving cheap loans, low interest loans, so on and so forth. So it is subsidized, state loans are provided, whereas here government is providing market support, but market intervention, TCS is putting their own money as well. They are involved in the global south, majorly in Africa, Latin America country. In fact, in Africa around 70% of the market is basically shared, basically captured by Huawei alone. So they have that digital dominance. Now for us, emerging markets are Africa and Asia, where China already exists. It gives us digital autonomy. in future, if we can provide better services at cheaper price, we may also gain digital supremacy or digital dominance over there. But presently China has that digital dominance. So what are the challenge for India? Challenge is the international presence as compared to Hawaii itself is quite less. As I said, in Africa alone, Hawaii is having 70% of presence. Then we need competitive pricing and reliability to outpace them and create our dominance. After sales support will also be very important for maintenance, so on and so forth. So these are the challenges in front of us before we can basically dominate this region, which is presently dominated by China. Now, what is the way forward over here? We should be building strategic technological partnership with the friendly nations. So take help of the friendly nation. India stack plus 4G stack, we can use it as a combined thing and we can export it, create an exporting model, offer financing mechanisms for other developing nations to purchase from us. So we should come up with credit financing as well and further strengthen our R&D and innovation in order to be ready for the next generation technology. Thank you.